Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the African American Read-In City of Tampa Day. This is our middle school presentation. We are so excited that you have joined us today, and we are ready to get started. So I'm going to turn it over to our moderator, Dr. Felita Lewis.
Thank you, Ms. Blossom. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome and thank you for joining us. My name is Dr. Felita Lewis, Executive Director for Family and Community Engagement. And I have the pleasure of being one of your moderators for the day, along with Mrs. Angela Fulwood, Supervisor, who's also from Family and Community Engagement. So today, students, you will hear a live read aloud from our very own City of Tampa Mayor. Mayor Castor is reading Dreams by Langston Hughes. In this poem, Langston Hughes shares the importance of having dreams. After the mayor finishes the reading, you will be able to add questions and comments in the Q&A pane for our interactive discussion of this short yet powerful poem. We will leave some time at the end for Q&A and reflection, and you will have the opportunity to add those in the pane as a reminder. So, who exactly is Mayor Jane Castor? Mayor Jane Castor is the 59th mayor of the City of Tampa. Born and raised in Tampa, Mayor Castor has spent a lifetime in service to the community, first as a police officer, then as Tampa's first female chief of police, and finally as the city's 59th mayor. She graduated from Chamberlain High School and attended the University of Tampa on an athletic scholarship. Under her leadership, the City of Tampa has also received several awards and recognitions. So without any further delay, we will now hear from our very own Mayor Jane Castor.
Good morning, everybody. It is such an honor and privilege for me to be here with you to celebrate during Black History Month by doing a reading from Langston Hughes' Dreams. Hold on to dreams, for if dreams die, life is like a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow.
Thank you so much for that, the reading of that poem. And this poem really encourages readers to hold fast to their desires and their goals. My name is Angela Fulwood, and I will be sharing all of your questions with the mayor. So you can start typing them in that Q&A pane. I'm going to start off with this question. Mayor, what do you think that Langston Hughes meant by life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly in this poem?
Well, I think that, that analogy and the frozen field, that, if you don't go after your dreams, if you don't try to live to the full potential that God gave you, then you will live your life as a broken winged bird or as a frozen field. And so it encourages those dreams, but also encourages individuals to strive towards those dreams despite any hardships or any blocks, anything that may get in the way of you realizing your dream. It will not be an easy path, but it is a path that we should all strive to walk along successfully.
Thank you for that. Here's another question. It says, it reads, dreams are not valued by everyone and tend sometimes to disappoint. In your opinion, why should young people believe in their dreams and goals?
Well, we're all individuals, and we all are allowed to have our own dreams, our own values, our own opinions. And one thing that I would encourage is don't let another's negativity, either towards their own dreams or towards your dreams, affect your vision. It's very important that you believe in yourself, that you believe in the dream that you have, but you also have to understand that dreaming in and of itself is not enough. You have to take those steps, those action steps, and that's where the difficulty that I referenced earlier, that's where that comes in, is that in realizing your dream, it's not always going to be an easy path, but you have to understand and accept the struggle, knowing that ultimately, if you do work hard enough and you prepare and you implement, that you will be able to realize your dream.
Thank you for that answer. On a personal side, what are some things that you are good at?
Well, some of the things that I think that I guess you could say that I'm good at, but it wasn't without work. One of the best skills I believe an individual can have is the ability to listen to others, and to listen fully, not to listen as you create a response or listen with your own thoughts or viewpoints in mind, but to listen to what people say and what experiences that they have had. And I believe that is something, that a skill that can be worked upon and can be developed, but it's something that isn't easy. But I also understand that in order to realize a dream, that there has to be a plan, there has to be, steps taken towards that dream, whether it requires an education, a particular skill, whatever it is. If it incorporates the actions of others, you have to have a plan to realize that dream, and then you have to take the steps necessary in order to reach that dream. And that, I believe, takes determination, and it takes commitment, and it takes discipline. And so those are other areas that I work on as well, to make sure that I can realize the dreams of our city, and then my personal dream as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. This question is coming from Austin. He asks, what do you think Langston Hughes was living through to have thought of this poem?
Well, it may, clearly very subjective, just sort of putting your own thoughts onto what Langston Hughes was thinking at the particular time. But I see the poem as referring to his personal journey, but then also crafting it in a way that it has that more broad overview or application to not only many individuals, but many circumstances as well. So I believe that Langston Hughes may have been reflecting on some difficulties that he had in life, maybe some dreams that he thought he could accomplish and he didn't. And so this was a reflection of, sort of a if I had done this, I may have been able to recognize my dream. But I also believe that he's looking at individuals as created by God, with really finite or infinite possibility and potential. And so it's up to each of us to understand that and make sure that we are doing all we can, striving to realize the God-given talents that we were born with, and possibilities.
Thank you for that. Oh, now I feel like this is a difficult question. And I know poetry is something that is always interpreted. So Anna Lily, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correct, Anna Lily. Her question is, why did he name it Dreams?
Well, I think he named it Dreams because that really, dreams incorporate vision, incorporate plans, destinations. Dreams really can incorporate so many different elements of your life, whether it's personal life, professional life. So it can apply these dreams. The poem itself can really apply to so many different situations, and goes back to you as the individual, that you have this God-given potential to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. And you can apply the poem to so many different aspects of an individual's life. So I don't know if that was intentional, but it was written in a way that it can be applied by applied and can be interpreted in a different way by countless numbers of people. I think the application of it is part of the wonder of the poem as well, that you can look at it from your personal perspective and feel that it was written for you.
All right, thank you for that. Now, we see that you've achieved a lot in your short lifetime. I would say you're so young and done, like you're the mayor of the city of Tampa. But what questions might you ask yourself when deciding if your dream goals are really attainable?
Well, for me, and this may not be something that I should probably share with all of the students, but I never really had the dreams of, like, the dream of becoming the chief of police or the dream of becoming the mayor. For me, it was more service oriented, and what I could do to help my community. So for me, my dream could have been or could have been realized in a number of different avenues. It didn't have to be through law enforcement or through the mayor's office. It could have been through initiatives or programs in our community that lift our community up. And so maybe that's another element of the dreams as well, is that they don't have to be, again, specific to an actual accomplishment of reaching a professional height, or something else that is very specific, like holding public office, but it can be more inclusive than that, and maybe more simplistic in helping your community, or whatever it is that was planned for your life, that you do everything you can to reach that potential, whatever it is.
Okay. Next question is coming from John Carlos. I hope I'm saying your name right. And John Carlos wants to know, when did you learn about Langston Hughes and what did you think of him?
Actually, I was introduced to Langston Hughes in high school, so that would be a long time ago. In the early 70s is really my first recollection of Langston Hughes. And one of the things that I really enjoy about Langston Hughes is, again, sort of that simplicity of his writing, but it's almost like it's an onion. It's so layered, and if you see the onion, you see it as that simple piece, but then as you pull back the layers, you see that there are so many intricacies, associated with it. And, you can read into it in a number of different ways. And that's what I've always enjoyed about Langston Hughes and other poets and writers, is when they can simplify something very, very deep, and it's in its simplicity, it applies to so many different individuals, and I think you would be successful as a writer if everyone who read your work felt like it applied to them personally, that you were writing that note to them.
Mm-hmm. So here's another question. Have you had dreams or aspirations that changed the course of your life being a community leader?
Yes, and sometimes intended, sometimes unintended. And I personally, everybody's an individual, and some may have a path that they feel they must stay on. But for me personally, I think that paths lead you to a location, and you can be turned in a number of different directions. I mean, for me, I had not necessarily, I had aspirations as a college graduate of working on the federal level, and there were coincidences that occurred in my life that brought me into the police department, into police work. And I tell everyone, I feel I was blessed, because for 31 years, there was never a day I didn't want to go to work. I absolutely loved being a police officer and being out in the community, helping people. But that wasn't a dream, and it really wasn't a destination for me in the beginning. I sort of ended there, not accidentally, but by coincidence. And it was, I was blessed my entire life.
Thank you for that. We have a question coming from Ileana. She asks, what made you choose this particular poem to read today?
It just has always spoken to me. There are a few poems that, that I look to for, motivation, for inspiration. And so I've always enjoyed Langston Hughes. A number of his poems and his writings have spoken to me. I don't want it to make it out like I am, well versed in poetry, but just some of the things that I see in sayings that, whether it's a writing, a poem, a saying, a particular stanza, a verse in the Bible, just something that really speaks to you and resonates and stays with you. I think that's important, and it's an individual thing too.
Okay, here's another question. What would you say to someone who has given up on their dreams?
Well, I would say don't ever give up on your dreams. You may have to, there may have to be some adjustments. They may sometimes take a path that you didn't intend. So I would say, one, be persistent. That's very important. Be disciplined, but also be flexible. Be flexible in that even if you're not taking that direct route that you feel will bring you to that dream, if you get sidetracked on another route, that doesn't mean it isn't going to take you to that dream. So, but I would just say mostly be persistent and continue to work hard towards that dream. A lot of times people get frustrated, or they hear the outside noise from people that you can't accomplish what you want. But don't do that. Make sure that you prepare yourself as well. Dreaming is one thing, but again, taking those steps, those real tangible steps that are necessary to reach that dream. You know, one of my dreams was always to be a backup singer for Aretha Franklin. I knew it couldn't come true because I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So, you know, that'd never happen. But you know what I'm saying? Let's just be realistic, persistent, understand what it takes, the hard work and the steps it takes to realize that dream. And frankly, the harder it is, the more enjoyable the realization of that dream will be, the more you have to struggle and strive to get there. And then also understand this, coming from someone who is 61 years old, you will learn more from failure, guaranteed, than you will from success. If you talk to anybody who is successful, their most vivid memories and sometimes their most vivid portions of their life are those times that they failed and they had to pick themselves back up and get back on that path. So just don't give up, especially on when you fail. Learn from that failure and then turn that into a positive element of your journey.
All right. So if you ask 5 friends, what would they identify as your biggest assets or gifts, I would say?
Gifts. I would say probably friendly, approachable, sense of humor, and ability. I think one of my best characteristics is the ability to bring diverse opinions and viewpoints together, and come out with a common goal.
That's good. That's good. Question from Caitlin. Caitlin asks, what is one of your dreams that you were able to accomplish?
One of my dreams that I was able to accomplish was to be able to get a college degree. That was something that, you know, I always knew that I wanted, but I understood that my family, there were 5 kids and my dad was a cabinet maker. There was no money for college education. And so athletics for me was a way towards that. I would have found another path towards it. Matter of fact, I got my master's degree after I had been a police officer for some years. But higher education should really, and it doesn't have to be higher education in the form of a college degree. It can be a skill set as well, that will allow you to realize your dreams down the road. But yes, I've got you know, a number of dreams and aspirations that I have had that are both large and small.
All right, perfect. And so I think that I'm going to ask this one last question.
Okay.
What does Black History Month mean to you?
Well, it means a great deal to me in our community. I feel, and I certainly strive, I feel that it should be celebrated every day, and I personally strive to celebrate every day the accomplishments of all of our community, Black, Brown, African American. I think that is important, and there are so many examples that we can show where there has African Americans and Latinos have been held back and not provided the same opportunities, and that's just one more reason that I feel we need to recognize those contributions. We need to identify those gifts and those skills that we have in our community and ensure that they're being recognized and being provided the same opportunities. I don't want to say, you know, that make a comparison, but I know also as a woman, being a woman in an all male, vast majority male occupation, you know, I've experienced those struggles from time to time. And again, not to in any way equate someone else's struggles or their level of discrimination with anything that I've endured. But I think it's important for us to recognize and also have those difficult discussions, and then make sure that we're doing everything that we can to give equal opportunity to everybody in our community. We're a very diverse community here in the city of Tampa, and it really is what identifies us as a great city. And one of the things that I love is the fact that we celebrate and we embrace our diversity on a daily basis.
All right, awesome. Now I'm going to get ready to turn it over to our coordinator of this whole event. But before we go, we have a question from Lucci. I did want to ask, this is one more question. Have you ever written a poem that you were proud of?
I don't know about that. When I was young, I did dabble a bit in that. I can tell you who's really good at that is my mom. My mom's very gifted in that area, but I guess the answer to that would be an unfortunate no.
Okay. Well, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Deborah Blossom. She is the Department Manager for Community Engagement. Ms. Blossom?
All right, thank you. This was awesome. Who would have known such a short poem was so meaningful and such rich information would come out of it? I am walking away with paths lead you to a location. So I thought that was a very interesting way to look at it, that no matter what the dream is, if you're on a path, it may lead you to a location that's different than the dream, but you're still accomplishing something great in that location that you're in. And of course, don't give up, never give up. So if we can remember those things, we will be on a great path, just like our mayor. So thank you, Mayor, for joining us today. This has been an amazing experience for our students, and what they will continue to receive out of the message and the readings is just phenomenal. Thank you, Dr. Lewis, of course, and Mrs. Fulwood for being our moderators and for joining us today as well. Most importantly, thank you to our students and our teachers for your participation. The student questions were great, and I encourage the students to continue to write their poems too, because we all have something in us to write and to share and to give. So continue to do that and continue to hold on to your dreams. We hope you enjoyed the presentation and have a great day.